The courtroom doors slammed shut, but the drama outside was just beginning. Fans are shocked as an unsealed motion has surfaced, revealing a secret evidence list that could turn the entire Durk case on its head, and suddenly, OTF finds themselves caught in a whirlwind no one saw coming. Eyewitnesses are whispering about documents that weren't supposed to see the light of day, text messages, and alleged surveillance footage that could either clear names or blow reputations apart. The tension was palpable, and emotions ran high as the news broke. What was thought to be a straightforward case suddenly feels like a chess match, with moves being made in the shadows. Sources close to the situation say the list isn't just paperwork, it's a Pandora's box of connections, allegations, and secret meetings. And while the public scrambles to piece together the story, insiders hint at a shocking twist. Someone from within OTF might have leaked crucial info. The family was left divided, with loyalty tested like never before, and fans are questioning who really holds the power. But that's not all. As attorneys scramble to respond, a second bombshell is already simmering under the surface. Rumors suggest that a brand new player could be stepping into the chaos, someone whose involvement wasn't even on the radar. And if the whispers are true, this could rewrite alliances, stir old grudges, and force some members to make impossible choices. In the next few minutes, we're diving deep into the list, the leaks, the family feuds, and the betrayals that have fans talking around the clock. Who will come out unscathed? Who will be exposed? And could this motion spark a whole new chapter of drama for Durk and OTF that nobody was ready for? Stick around, because by the end, you're gonna question everything you thought you knew. The first time the Unsealed motion hit the internet, it felt like the ground itself had shifted under OTF's feet. Fans were blowing up Twitter, Instagram stories were lighting up with screenshots of the evidence list, and every hip-hop group chat was buzzing like a live wire. The documents weren't just legalese, they were a roadmap to secrets that, until now, had been buried. Names, alleged texts, timestamps, and even mentions of meetings no one knew about filled the pages. And while lawyers were frantically trying to spin the narrative in court, the streets were buzzing with speculation. Who leaked it and why? Inside OTF, emotions ran high. One source described the scene as chaotic, like a war room on fire. Calls were flying in from every corner, some with advice, others with accusations. The family was left divided almost immediately. Some members insisted it was an internal betrayal, while others suggested the leaks came from outside forces trying to destabilize Durk and the crew. And as fans dissected every line of the list, one name kept popping up in particular, sparking debates. Someone allegedly connected to a new rival circle, someone who, if involved, could change the entire dynamic of the case. And then came the first twist. While the public focused on the obvious legal implications, insiders whispered about something far more explosive. One line in the evidence list seemed to suggest a planned setup, though no one was confirming exactly what. Conversations that had been private for months were suddenly in the spotlight, and the implications were terrifying. Could this mean that someone OTF trusted implicitly had been feeding information all along? Sources close to the crew described the tension as palpable, like you could slice it with a knife. In the middle of all this, social media erupted when a fan leaked what appeared to be a partial screenshot of alleged text exchanges between a key OTF member and someone outside the circle. The texts were cryptic, vague enough to leave room for interpretation, but suggestive enough to fuel weeks of speculation. Fans immediately started connecting dots, creating theories about who might be loyal and who might be working behind the scenes. Memes exploded, reaction videos flooded YouTube, and the conversation snowballed into what some were calling the Durk saga of 2025. Meanwhile, tensions weren't just online, they were personal. One member of OTF reportedly confronted another over what they believed was a betrayal. Emotions boiling over in a late-night studio session. Eyewitnesses say the argument escalated to shouting, with words like loyalty and trust being thrown around like daggers. The crew's inner circle, once considered untouchable, now looked like a powder keg ready to explode. And behind closed doors, family members were asking questions that couldn't easily be answered. Who knew what, and who could be trusted when the stakes were this high? Then the second twist hit, and it sent shockwaves across the fan base. The Unsealed motion contained a note referencing a supposed witness who had seen interactions that could contradict previous statements made in court. This unnamed source had reportedly spoken to law enforcement months ago, but the details had been kept secret until now. If verified, this could change the trajectory of the case entirely, forcing attorneys to rethink strategy and fans to reassess what they thought they knew about OTF's inner workings. The revelation sparked immediate backlash online, with fans questioning whether the crew had really been transparent about the situation. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some claimed this witness could be tied to a rival faction, while others insisted it was an internal matter, the kind of betrayal that cuts deepest. Amid the chaos, Durk himself remained a figure of focus and speculation. Publicly, he stayed quiet, dropping a few posts that fans tried to read between the lines. One Instagram story showed him in the studio, seemingly calm, but insiders insisted the energy was tense. "He's focused, but you can feel the weight of this," one source said. "It's like every move he makes, people are watching, waiting to see if he slips." Fans immediately began dissecting his every post and caption, searching for clues about how he was handling the mounting pressure. Some praised his composure, while others worried the situation was spiraling out of control. Adding to the fire, another small twist came from an unexpected corner: the social media reaction of close family members. One relative shared a cryptic post that fans interpreted as a warning. Another simply deleted all mentions of OTF from their page. Emotions ran high, with speculation that the family itself might be fractured by the unfolding drama. Fans debated whether these moves were strategic or emotional, and the discussion spilled into every corner of hip-hop forums, fueling the narrative that OTF was more vulnerable than ever. And just when it seemed like the tension couldn't rise further, whispers of yet another possible leak surfaced. This time, it wasn't about text messages or surveillance, it was about financial documents. Allegedly, some records hinted at payments and exchanges that could imply involvement in activities fans and critics alike would find shocking. No confirmation existed, but the rumor alone was enough to make analysts, reporters, and fans all lean in closer, hungry for answers. The energy on social media became almost frenzied, as though the mere suggestion of new evidence could topple years of reputation overnight. The first public reactions from the crew came the following day, but they were careful, calculated statements that seemed to acknowledge the chaos without confirming anything. "We handle our business," one member said in a short clip posted to Instagram. "Everything else? Just noise." Yet the comment only fueled more speculation. Fans argued over what noise meant. Was it a denial, a hint, or a subtle warning to someone within the circle? Every reaction, or lack thereof, became a story in itself. Because in a case this high profile, silence can be just as explosive as a statement. By now, the drama had spread beyond OTF's immediate circle. Other artists, influencers, and online personalities weighed in, some out of loyalty, others to capitalize on the spectacle. Reaction videos, breakdowns of the evidence list, and what-if scenario discussions multiplied, creating a feedback loop where every leak or rumor seemed to spark a dozen more. Fans were glued to the updates, emotions running high as alliances, loyalty, and the possibility of betrayal all hung in the balance. And still, the most shocking twist came in the form of an anonymous source, supposedly close to the court proceedings. This source hinted that the evidence list might only be a fraction of what's actually known, and that law enforcement could be holding information that could completely rewrite the story of the case. The implications were immediate. If new evidence emerged, it could either absolve certain members or implicate them in ways fans didn't yet dare imagine. It was a chilling reminder that the drama was far from over, and that was only the opening act in a saga that could dominate headlines for weeks. By the time the sun set, the first wave of panic, suspicion, and chaos had swept through OTF and the fanbase alike. Analysts speculated, insiders whispered, and the family remained on edge, caught between loyalty and the terrifying possibility of betrayal. Fans stayed glued to their screens, desperate to know who would emerge unscathed and who would fall. And the reality was clear. In the world of high-profile hip-hop drama, nothing was ever simple, nothing was ever private, and every secret carried the potential to explode. One thing was certain: the Unsealed motion had not just revealed a list of evidence, it had unleashed a storm of doubt, speculation, and tension that would ripple through OTF, Durk, and the wider hip-hop community. Every name, every text, every hint of betrayal was now a thread in a larger, unpredictable story, and fans were left wondering who could be trusted and who might be plotting the next twist in a saga that was only just beginning. As the night following the Unsealed motion descended on OTF's camp, the crew was restless, pacing back and forth in the studio, phones buzzing non-stop. Sources say the energy was electric and tense, like a live wire waiting to spark. One member reportedly slammed his hand on the table, shouting, "We can't let this slide, someone's playing us." The words echoed in the room as the rest of the crew looked at each other, faces a mix of anger and fear. Loyalty was being tested in real time, and everyone knew the game had just changed. The first shocker came when an insider revealed that one of OTF's long-trusted associates may have been communicating with someone outside the circle, someone allegedly connected to the rival faction that fans had been buzzing about since the motion leaked. No names were confirmed, but the implications were explosive. Could the leak have been an inside job? And if so, was it accidental or calculated? Social media erupted immediately. Fans were creating threads, piecing together old interviews, snippets of live shows, and even old Instagram posts, trying to decode hidden meanings. Each post, each caption suddenly felt like a clue in a massive puzzle. Meanwhile, emotions inside the family were boiling over. One relative reportedly confronted Durk directly, asking pointed questions about trust and alliances. "We've always had each other's backs," the relative reportedly said, "but now, who do we even know is on our side?" Durk's response was reportedly calm but firm. "We handle our business. Everything else is noise." But insiders say the room felt tense, like every word was a test. Fans were quick to read between the lines. Was this calmness a sign of control, or a mask for the storm brewing underneath? Then came a twist that shook social media to its core. An alleged video surfaced showing a late-night studio session with OTF members and a mysterious guest. The footage was grainy, the identities not fully clear, but fans claimed it showed heated exchanges, whispered conversations, and even a possible confrontation over loyalty. The clip went viral in hours. Reactions ranged from shock to outrage to excitement as fans speculated that this unknown guest could be a pivotal piece in the puzzle. Analysts online suggested it could be someone tied to a rival crew or even an inside informant, fueling even more wild theories. Adding fuel to the fire, financial rumors began circulating. One leaked spreadsheet hinted at previously undisclosed payments, raising questions about potential outside influence. Was OTF being manipulated financially? Were payments tied to favors, silence, or even betrayal? No one confirmed the document's authenticity, but the mere possibility sent fans into a frenzy. Discussions online weren't just about loyalty, they were about survival, power, and whether the crew could withstand the mounting pressure. Amidst all this, the courtroom drama continued. Legal analysts speculated that the motion could force investigators to call new witnesses or revisit old testimonies. And one particularly explosive rumor emerged. An attorney allegedly suggested that someone within the crew might face questions that could expose secrets long thought buried. The idea alone caused tempers to flare, with social media buzzing about who might be implicated next. Fans speculated about alliances, betrayals, and the potential for shocking revelations, while insiders hinted that the drama had only just begun. But the biggest shock arrived when a close source leaked a supposed internal chat between two key OTF members. The messages were cryptic, referencing plans changing and trust being tested. While no context was confirmed, fans immediately began connecting dots. Who was planning what, and who could really be trusted when every conversation seemed like a potential setup? Social media exploded and fan theories multiplied by the minute. Every snippet of the chat was analyzed, rewatched, and speculated upon, creating a fever pitch of anticipation for what might happen next. Meanwhile, Durk's public image became a topic of debate. Some praised his apparent composure, claiming he was playing 4D chess, while others worried that the internal strife and leaks were signs of cracks in the crew's armor. Emotional fan reactions ranged from anger to despair to blind loyalty, with every Instagram story, TikTok reaction, and Twitter thread adding another layer of tension. It was clear, the stakes were no longer just legal, they were personal, emotional, and reputational. And just when fans thought they had processed everything, the final twist hit. An anonymous source suggested that law enforcement might have been aware of some internal disputes for months, but strategically held back information. Could the timing of the Unsealed motion have been intentional? Was someone orchestrating the chaos, not just within OTF, but in public perception? This revelation sent social media into overdrive, with fans debating motives, alliances, and the possibility of a larger conspiracy. The energy was electric, and the community was on edge, awaiting the next bombshell. It was clear that the Unsealed motion had done more than expose a list of evidence. It had exposed fault lines, ignited old grudges, and set off a chain reaction of suspicion, fear, and intrigue. OTF was no longer just a rap collective. They were players in a high-stakes drama that had fans watching every move, analyzing every post, and questioning every loyalty. And as the night ended, one chilling truth remained. In a world where secrets could explode overnight, no one could afford to trust anyone completely, and the next twist could come at any moment. The tension inside OTF had reached a breaking point. Sources close to the crew described the energy as explosive, like a volcano ready to blow. The leak of the secret evidence list had already shaken everyone, but now, the rumors were starting to turn personal. One insider revealed that a close associate, someone considered untouchable, had allegedly been in contact with a rival crew. The messages were cryptic, but enough to make fingers point and loyalties questioned. Fans immediately blew it up on social media, dissecting old posts and interviews for any hint of betrayal. Late-night studio sessions became a battlefield. One member reportedly confronted another, emotions raw and voices rising. "I trusted you," was heard in a whispered recording circulating online. This ain't the move, not with everything on the line. The confrontation didn't just unsettle the crew, it leaked to fans, who debated whether the conflict was the start of a split or just a necessary clash to maintain order. Family members were caught in the middle, trying to mediate but also struggling to hide their own fear that the trust that held the group together might be cracking. Then came the first bombshell. An anonymous source hinted that a new player had entered the situation, someone no one had considered a factor before. Their influence reportedly ran deep, touching both financial dealings and behind-the-scenes communications. Some fans speculated that this could be a mastermind orchestrating chaos from the shadows, while others believed it was someone from inside OTF trying to protect themselves. The speculation exploded online, creating a frenzy of theories, memes, and live reactions. Analysts were already predicting that the fallout from this revelation could dominate headlines for weeks. In the midst of the tension, another leak surfaced. Alleged financial documents hinting at previously undisclosed payments to unknown entities. No one could verify the information, but the hint of outside influence immediately raised questions about loyalty, control, and even safety. Some crew members were reportedly panicking, while others were trying to strategize, realizing that their every move could now be scrutinized publicly. The streets were talking, and fans were dissecting every story, every comment, and every post for clues about who could be trusted and who might be playing a hidden game. Drama intensified when social media lit up over what appeared to be a studio video. Grainy footage showed several OTF members arguing with someone who wasn't immediately recognized. Whispers online claimed it could be the new player, someone with a potential connection to the leaked motion. The scene looked tense, voices raised, and fans immediately speculated that alliances were shifting behind the scenes. Every comment, every reaction video, every fan theory became another layer in a story that already felt too big for any one person to control. Adding to the chaos, another anonymous source revealed that law enforcement may have had knowledge of the internal conflicts months before the motion became public. If true, it suggested a deliberate timing to maximize disruption or gather more information. Fans instantly theorized, could someone be playing a larger game, manipulating both OTF and public perception simultaneously? Every angle felt like a chess move, and the stakes were sky high. Meanwhile, Durk remained calm publicly, posting subtle messages on Instagram and TikTok. One short clip showed him in the studio, headphones on, looking focused, but insiders insist the tension was palpable. He's calm, but the weight is heavy, one source said. You can feel it in the air, everyone's waiting for the next move and you know it's coming. Fans immediately analyzed every detail, the song snippets, the captions, the expressions. Every post became a potential clue, fueling speculation about who was in control and who might be plotting their next play. Then came an emotional twist. A family member reportedly pulled a crew member aside and delivered a raw message about loyalty, trust, and consequences. You can't hide behind fame or music, they said. These streets don't forgive betrayal. The confrontation reportedly left the crew shaken, some members defensive, others silent, and fans were quick to react, debating whether this was the beginning of a public fallout or just another private test of allegiance. The intensity of emotions made it clear that nothing would ever feel the same within the group again. As the night stretched on, Whispers of a potential new witness surfaced, someone claiming to have seen interactions that contradicted previous statements made in court. The name wasn't revealed, but fans immediately connected it to the motion, the financial rumors, and the alleged new player. Social media erupted with theories, accusations, and debates, each one more sensational than the last. Analysts speculated that this could force new testimony, new investigations, or even new charges, leaving everyone involved on edge. Finally, a final twist emerged that seemed almost cinematic. A message allegedly circulated between two key members, hinting at moves that could change everything and plans no one saw coming. The messages were cryptic, leaving fans and insiders alike guessing, was this a coordinated strategy, a warning, or the start of a larger betrayal? Speculation went wild, with online forums dissecting every word, trying to map the potential fallout and asking themselves, who would rise, who would fall, and who might never recover from what was about to hit? By the time the morning came, OTF and its circle were exhausted, tense, and more divided than ever. Every leak, rumor, and whispered conversation had pushed boundaries, tested loyalties, and created a climate of fear, suspicion, and drama. Fans were glued to their screens, desperate for updates, analyzing every move like detectives trying to solve a high-stakes thriller. The storm wasn't over, it was only intensifying. Trust was fractured, alliances were shifting, and every action carried consequences that could ripple through the hip-hop world. For everyone watching, it was clear. In this saga, there were no guarantees, no safe zones, and no easy answers. Every secret that had surfaced could be just the beginning, and the next revelation could strike at any moment, reshaping the story entirely. The morning after the late-night confrontations, the energy around OTF was tense, electric, and almost unbearable. Insiders described the crew as walking on eggshells, every glance and every word measured. Rumors of betrayal had taken root, and loyalty was being questioned at every turn. Fans were obsessively analyzing every Instagram story, TikTok snippet, and leaked text, trying to predict what would happen next. The atmosphere was thick with paranoia, and one source described it as a storm where you can feel the thunder coming before it hits. Then the first bombshell hit the internet. Allegedly, a new witness had emerged, someone claiming to have been present during key interactions that could contradict statements previously made in court. The identity was not confirmed, but the implications alone sent fans into a frenzy. Social media exploded, analysts debated the potential fallout, and every comment section became a battlefield of theories. Could this witness tilt the scales? Could the crew face consequences they hadn't even anticipated? The tension was palpable. Inside the studio, another confrontation reportedly unfolded. One member allegedly accused another of leaking sensitive messages and financial information. Voices reportedly rose, words were thrown like daggers, and the confrontation ended with slammed doors and lingering silence. The family, trying to mediate, reportedly struggled to keep control as emotions ran high. Fans speculated endlessly, debating who had the upper hand, who was loyal, and who might be planning their next move in the shadows. Meanwhile, an unexpected twist surfaced online. Alleged financial records suggested that some payments might have been funneled to unknown parties outside the crew. No verification had been made, but the speculation was explosive. Was someone manipulating OTF from behind the scenes? Were these transactions linked to the leaks, the new witness, or even rival crews? Fans were dissecting every line of the documents, creating threads and reaction videos that spread faster than wildfire. Analysts suggested that if true, these financial revelations could fundamentally change the dynamics within the crew. Durk stayed publicly calm, but his subtle posts only added fuel to the fire. One short clip showed him in the studio, headphones on, eyes closed, seemingly lost in the music, but insiders insisted tension hung in the air like a storm cloud. Fans dissected the imagery, captions, and even the color of his clothing for hidden meanings, debating whether he was signaling confidence, caution, or warning someone in particular. Every post became a potential clue, and the frenzy online showed no signs of slowing down. Then came another shocking revelation. A mysterious figure, previously unknown, reportedly had ties to the crew's financial and social dealings. Some sources claimed this person could be influencing decisions, leaking information, or orchestrating chaos for unknown reasons. The speculation went viral, with fans debating motives, loyalty, and potential consequences. Analysts online suggested this could be the beginning of a larger saga, one that might engulf the crew entirely if the rumors were true. Adding to the drama, whispers of a hidden alliance began circulating. Allegedly, two members who had been considered loyal allies were now secretly communicating with external parties. Fans immediately drew connections to the evidence list and previous confrontations, creating theories that ranged from strategic planning to outright betrayal. The fanbase exploded with reactions, memes, and conspiracy theories, making it clear that every move within the crew was under intense scrutiny. Emotions ran high when family members reportedly confronted one crew member directly, delivering a raw message about trust, loyalty, and the consequences of missteps. "We've always been a unit," they reportedly said, "but you can't play games and expect everyone to survive unscathed." The confrontation reportedly left several members shaken, some defensive, others silent, highlighting how fragile relationships had become. Fans dissected the confrontation online, debating who had the moral high ground and predicting the next fallout. As the day went on, another explosive rumor hit social media. An alleged text exchange suggested that some members were planning moves that could change everything. The messages were vague, cryptic, and immediately viral. Analysts and fans debated whether these messages hinted at a strategy, a warning, or an impending betrayal. Every comment, screenshot, and reaction video amplified the tension, and the community seemed collectively on edge, waiting for the next revelation. By the evening, the stakes felt higher than ever. The crew reportedly held an emergency meeting to address the leaks, the alleged witness, and the rumored financial manipulations. Sources say voices were raised, accusations were made, and trust was tested to the breaking point. The family, caught in the crossfire, reportedly struggled to keep the group together, while fans followed every update, reaction, and rumor with rapt attention. The narrative had become more than just legal drama. It was personal, emotional, and public. Then the final twist of the narrative hit. An insider suggested that law enforcement may have been aware of some internal conflicts months before the Unsealed motion became public. The timing, whether coincidence or strategy, created a new layer of suspense. Could the chaos have been orchestrated to manipulate perception, test loyalty, or gather evidence? Fans debated endlessly, connecting dots, analyzing every leak, and speculating on who might emerge unscathed. The story had become a high-stakes game of trust, power, and influence, and everyone involved was under scrutiny. By nightfall, OTF and its circle were exhausted, wary, and more divided than ever. The leaks, rumors, and confrontations had pushed the boundaries of loyalty, trust, and control. Fans remained glued to their screens, analyzing every move, every post, and every whisper. The stakes were sky high, the atmosphere tense, and the story far from over. One thing was clear: every secret, every betrayal, and every revelation could trigger a cascade of consequences, leaving fans and insiders alike questioning who could survive in a world where trust was the rarest commodity of all. What we've witnessed over the last few days is nothing short of a roller coaster. The Unsealed motion didn't just reveal a list of evidence, it exposed fractures, tested loyalty, and sent shockwaves through OTF, Durk, and the entire hip-hop community. From leaked texts to alleged financial manipulations, from mysterious new players to family confrontations, the tension has been building like a storm no one could ignore. Fans are left asking, who's really in control, and who might be plotting the next move behind closed doors? The drama has already reshaped narratives, divided fans, and sparked conversations that won't die down anytime soon. Every Instagram post, TikTok snippet, and social media reaction has become a piece of the puzzle. And yet, one of the biggest questions still hangs in the air. Can OTF survive this wave of betrayal and rumor, or will the cracks grow too wide to repair? And who exactly is this mysterious figure that seems to be pulling strings behind the scenes? One thing is undeniable: emotions are raw, stakes are higher than ever, and the story is far from over. This saga has everything fans live for: loyalty, betrayal, suspense, and the kind of twists that leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. Now, it's your turn. Hit that like button if you're keeping up with every twist. Subscribe so you never miss a moment of the drama as it unfolds. And drop a comment with your theory. Who do you think is behind the leaks, and who will come out on top? Your thoughts could be the next conversation everyone's talking about tomorrow. Don't scroll past, this is the kind of story where one small detail changes the entire game, and we want you right here for every single twist. The storm isn't over, and the next move could happen any second. Stay tuned, stay alert, and keep your eyes on OTF because in this world, nothing is ever as it seems.